Cancer, this is your week ahead astrology forecast by Astrology Motivation, coming to you straight from Born Without Boundaries. Welcome everybody, and thank you so much for clicking on this video. Don't forget to subscribe and help support the channel grow. In this video, I'm going to go over the major planetary aspects and transits and how they impact your natal suns, Cancer, and what that means for your bottom line and your day-to-day. We're going to start really broad with the big stuff that's impacting everyone. And then we're going to get more focused into the things that really Cancer should be paying attention to. And then we're going to go into your natal suns. And I'm going to show you using the decans, or groups of 10 degrees. There's 3 decans in every zodiac sign. What angles are being made to your natal suns by other planets, and what that means, what aspects they create. So if your natal sun is between 0 and 9 degrees Cancer, you are a Cancer 1. If your natal sun is between 10 and 19 degrees Cancer, you are Cancer 2. And if your natal sun is between 20 and 29 degrees Cancer, you are a Cancer 3. You don't need to know where your natal sun is exactly for this reading, because I will give you estimates on the correlating birth dates or range of birth dates that they would cover. But the best, most accurate is to have your natal chart. And if you love astrology, you should start with your own natal chart. You need your birth date, your birth time, and your birthplace. All of that's on your birth certificate, and you can do it for free over the internet. So let's get into the reading. So this week is a build-up week. There's going to be a new moon on the 19th. This is the week of May 12th to the 18th. So it's really going to be next week's video that talks about the impacts of that new moon, because there's a new moon in Taurus. Finally, right? We had 2 in Aries last month. It was a month ago that we had the last new moon in Aries, and that was an eclipse. It came with a solar eclipse. This is not an eclipse. This is a straightforward and beautiful new moon, and I believe it is going to be trine to Pluto. So really beautiful energy that's happening. Lots of build-up. Think about this week being the build-up. In fact, I wrote down on my notes, this is what I'm looking at, guys. Ghosts of Christmas Past, because the moon gets to visit basically every major planet. It's going to conjunct while it leads up to this new moon. And then after that, it's only got the planets that are in Cancer to conjunct with, and that is Mars and Venus are in Cancer now. So ultimately, it's like everybody else. You gotta go for a visit until you get to actually come home the week after. There are a couple of big things that are happening this week, though, that don't have anything directly to do with Cancerians. We do have Mercury going direct on the 15th. Y'all know, if you know astrology, that we're still going to feel the Mercury retrograde impact up to 7 days after this, so up to like the 22nd. But at least we know now it's post-stationary. It's not going back. This is when, though, the 15th is when it can kick up its most vile bits, because when you're churning and churning water, right, and then you try to stir the other way, that's when everything splashes, and that's the 15th. So be wary of that date. Realize it. The 15th is not a great day for communications or for emails to actually get through on time, or it could be a very tense day. I'm just letting you know. We also have Jupiter. Yay! Jupiter is transiting from Aries into Taurus on the 17th. So it'll be at 0 degrees Jupiter, and that does impact you guys. Oh my God. Get ready, baby, because it starts now. It really does, and you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. I can't. So when it hits 0 degrees Taurus, a certain group of you, and shout out, I think most of you already know which ones, are gonna have a really, really lucky, beautiful next few days. And over the next month, Jupiter is going to be transiting. Actually, no, Jupiter will be there for a lot longer than a month, and Jupiter will end up blessing all Cancerians because it'll form a sextile to your natal suns. Some of you will have to wait. Some of you are actually square to Jupiter, which is not bad luck. It's actually just really intense energy. And we'll get into that as well. Oh my God. I'm excited. And then a big aspect that's happening it's really huge, is that in the middle of our chart, we now have a grand cross, which means stuck, compression, almost a blockage, let's put it that way. And it's a square between Jupiter and Pluto, the south node, and Mars. So Pluto and Mars are in opposition to each other. Jupiter and the south node are in opposition to each other, and they form one big square in the sky. This makes that new moon that's coming even more intense, because there's a lot of gunk that's got to be unclogged. And before then, the moon is going to be conjuncting every single energy except for Mars and Venus. So let's talk about that. We're going to talk about that. The moon, your ruling dignitary. I always tell you guys, get a lunar calendar because you need one. All Cancerians should have one. The moon is going to, let's start way in the beginning. Saturday, hold on a second. Saturday the 13th, the moon conjunct Saturn. This could be just very kind of moody, emotional times, sometimes conflicts between mom and dad, sometimes not just conflicts though, having a sense of seriousness or taking things very seriously, especially emotionally. Then we have on the 15th, it's going to be conjunct to Neptune, which is very dreamy, lost in your daydreams, very creative, but very emotional energy. And then on the 16th, we are conjunct to Chiron. And this can be extra pain, like really feeling a sense of suffering, really feeling that sense of just all the past boiling up inside of you and all the crap coming up, days like this. So prepare for the 16th to be in a place where you feel very comforted, because it can be a very emotional day. Then on the 17th, between the 17th and 18th, it's going to conjunct Mercury. Moon conjunct Mercury is communicating your emotions. Mercury will be out of retrograde by that point, but a lot of stuff is still coming up. There also could be things coming back, like things like messages that were held up. They could still be coming in. Finally, you could be getting responses, or finally you could be able to communicate what you're feeling. And then we have on the 17th, 18th, the moon conjuncts Jupiter, which is a very abundance, like feeling optimistic and feeling abundant. And then on the 18th, finally, before the new moon, the moon conjuncts Uranus. And that is a very peculiar, odd, strange, but adorable time. Just strange feelings, curveball feelings coming up. But honestly, get ready, because that new moon in Taurus, once that moon conjuncts the sun in Taurus, this is really a fresh start. And I think we're going to get a few surprises along the way. So there's a lot of just a full spectrum of experiences that we're going to be having over this week. And it's going to be a week to remember. I can tell you, ghosts of Christmas past, because everybody's haunting us. It's like we're having a review. We're reviewing all the things we've been through until the moon can actually go back home into Cancer in a couple of days. So let's get into the decans, shall we? Well, no, first let's go over Cancer. In Cancer, there is Mars and Venus. Venus is going to be traveling between 5 degrees and 11 degrees Cancer this week. That means it is still in the first decan of Cancer. Mars is also going to be traveling, but it's in the third decan. It's traveling between 25 and 28 degrees Cancer. Remember, Mars is a part of that big old square and that grand cross. So it is square to Jupiter, it's square to the south node, and it's opposite Pluto. All your natal suns are there too. So there's major changes and major pushes, almost like a sense of, I got to get out of here. I got to do something. Something happens to make you move forward. That's what I wrote down. This is Cancer 3s, but we'll get to you guys. Cancer 1s, lots happening. Lots happening. You guys are conjunct, your natal sun is conjunct Venus. That's feeling beautiful, feeling gorgeous, feeling attractive, feeling loved, feeling super optimistic as well, and actually feeling pretty good about money too. You are trine to Saturn, which means there's harmony and balance in authority figures and things going well for you legally and contracts and stuff coming through for you. All of those things, things going really well at work, right, with your career. Nice opportunities there. And also trine to the South Node, so you're feeling really good and complete with what you've done and who you are, and you know yourself and you know your skills and your talents. You could also be getting help from home or just connection to home, which could make you feel warm and cozy and comfortable. Healing all those issues from the past and saying goodbye to them. Your natal suns are also then sextile to the North Node, which means you are future focused. Remember, North Node is also in that grand cross because it's conjunct to Jupiter. So it's like you are moving forward. You don't have to be forced. You are going to move forward. You want to move forward. The momentum's already yours. You're riding that wave. Sextile to Mercury, which for most of the week is going to be retrograde. I don't know what that means, but opportunities, I do know what that means. Opportunities coming in for you, but there are more opportunities that would be stuff that you would have wanted in the past, so they're not necessarily new things yet. Also, opportunities like slower communications are actually working for you to your benefit. You know, it's almost like when you don't have to pay your speeding ticket for a couple of days extra, you know, something like that. When you turn back the hands on the clock and you get an extra hour of sleep, it's kind of that, like things going slow actually help you out a bit. And then we have Jupiter if you are at the cusp. If you are a Gemini, Cancer cusp, so if you're born June 22nd, 23rd, 24th, you guys are blessed with Jupiter hitting the first decan of Taurus, being in a perfect sextile to your natal suns. This is fortunate abundance and absolute prosperity moving forward. Absolute optimism, luck and beauty. And then you have a quincunx to Pluto, which means that you're agitated. You want to move and you want to change, and maybe the change isn't that clear right now, but you're definitely making it happen. This is a beautiful week for you guys. By the 17th, Jupiter will be in Taurus, so it will be at 0 degrees. So those of you at 0 degrees Cancer, holy crap. It's going to be a beautiful wave for you. Now, your natal birthdays are between June 22nd and say June 30th, maybe up to July 1st. That's you. That's you guys. Though I would usually count July 1st as a second decan. So it's really those last kind of 10 days in June. You're the first decan babies. Second decan babies, you are where my birthday is. For example, my natal sun is at 14 degrees Cancer, and my birthday is July 6th. So if your natal suns, this is the coverage, right? Your natal suns are between 10 and 19 degrees. That means that July 1st through maybe the 11th, maybe the 10th, those first 10 days in July are decan 2s. That's an estimate, but it's about then. We have been sextile to Uranus, and we have been square to Chiron for quite some time. And so really we're only going to feel it when something exacerbates it. Well, there's a lot exacerbating it now, a lot. Uranus is at 19 degrees Taurus, so it's more, the sextile is more impacting those born to the later edges, more like 9th, 10th, 11th birthdays in Cancer. This is brilliance, opportunity for brilliance, opportunities for weird curveballs to actually work out for you, strange and wonderful and crazy experiences opening doors for you. This is a brilliant time, and it's been going on, but there's that new moon right near Uranus right now, and so much is active around Taurus that I think it's worth saying that this week could be particularly special. There is a square to Chiron, And that means extra pain. It's like everything you do has to make you suffer twice as much as it should. It's like, why does it have to be that hard? And tell me that you haven't gotten that experience for the past couple of years. And that's because Chiron is square to our natal suns. It doesn't mean anything bad is going to happen, but it could be that there are changes, and since Chiron is in Aries, stuff that's happening with your body that feels uncomfortable. And it's like, why, right? Why the pain in the butt? It's because Chiron is square to our natal suns. But this week on the 16th, when the moon, our ruling dignitary, conjuncts Chiron, that's going to be an especially difficult day, emotionally and maybe physically. So be somewhere where you can really get self-care and really take care of yourself and ground yourself, especially if you can get near water. Not water that's fast running or will make you drown. No accidents, please. But just this sense of being immersed and being safe and feeling good. Take care of yourself that day. Cancer 3s. Cancer 3s, you are conjunct Mars, which means you're opposite Pluto, which means you are right in the thick of that grand square. This is a major change for you. This is a major change time, and it's not asking your permission. So as much as you could ride this wave, the better, because something happens to make you move forward, and that is between now and I would say June 15th. So there's a major change, a major impact, a major breakthrough that makes you, forces you, pushes you out that door. You have to move forward, Cancerians. Between now and then, tell me that stuff doesn't happen to make you actually move. If you've been hesitant, if you've been delaying, you won't be able to delay much longer. And with Jupiter and Taurus, it could be something financial. It could be financial abundance that finally makes it impossible for you to make any fucking excuses anymore. You know, it doesn't have to be something bad, but what's bad is it's going to force a change, and you've kind of been stuck. Mars opposite Pluto, there's a stubbornness there, there's a relentlessness, or like an unruliness of stuckness, and that's what's going to push you forward. It's going to say, you have no excuses anymore. FYI. All right, guys, you let me know how all this energy is impacting you. And please come over to Born Without Boundaries Tarot for your week ahead tarot card reading. Before you click off, subscribe to the channel and give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye, Cancer.